Hello everyone and welcome to this webinar on environmental sustainability in schools. We've been a partner with Phobosea for many years now and we're proud of our connection with them and our continuing relationship with supporting British international schools across the world. So firstly, my name is Damien Roberts and I am a director and co-founder of an education-focused software house in Derby in the United Kingdom. Here are my contact details if you would like to get in touch. Now, I'm going to talk to you today about environmental sustainability in schools, offer guidance on how you can set up your priorities and goals for improvement, and demonstrate how we can help too. So my main area of interest is supporting schools with whole school improvement and raising awareness of our suite of web-based tools, SchoolIP. SchoolIP seamlessly links staff appraisal and professional development evidence with school improvement planning and self-evaluation. SchoolIP supports all staff within schools with their own development, whilst supporting the wider school with things like policy management and audits for improvement. SchoolIP is used by almost 700 schools, colleges, and other places of education across the globe. If you're interested in taking a further look at SchoolIP with me, you can do so via an online demonstration. Feel free to book a demonstration using the link here. Also, I mentioned audits and environmental sustainability, and I'll be explaining how we can help with supporting schools with that too. We love to carry the conversation online about school improvement, so please do follow and join us on the following channels on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and on YouTube. Follow for tips on school improvement. So who are we working with? We're very proud to have teamed up with two organisations to support schools with their environmental sustainability. The first of which is the National Governance Association. The National Governance Association, the NGA, is the membership organisation for governors, trustees and governance professionals of state schools in England. They're an independent, not-for-profit charity that aims to improve the educational standards and well-being of young people by increasing the effectiveness of governing boards and promoting high standards. They are expert leaders in school and trust governance, providing information, advice and guidance, professional development and e-learning. They represent the views of governors, trustees and clerks at a national level and work closely with and lobby the UK government and educational bodies. The second organisation we've teamed up with is the National Association of Environmental Education, the NAEE. NAEE is an incorporated charitable organisation that is run by its members and volunteers who care passionately about environmental education and education for sustainable development. Their charitable objective is to provide a public benefit by advancing environmental education within early years settings, primary and secondary schools, and institutions responsible for teacher education within the UK and elsewhere. In particular, but without limitation, by facilitating curriculum development through the provision of resources, information, and ideas for teachers, providing financial support for pupils to visit outdoor education centres, and collaborating with organisations that have related objectives. They believe that young people have a right to first-hand educational experiences in their local environment, because these are critical in helping people understand the importance of the biosphere to all life on the planet, as well as being a source of well-being and fulfillment and a motivation towards sustainable living. NGA's Greener Governance campaign aims to ensure that all schools and trusts have a strategy for their contribution to environmental sustainability and to equip governing boards to play their role in overseeing this work. The NGA is asking for every governing board to make a greener governance pledge to reduce carbon at their school or trust, put their schools or trust contribution to environmental sustainability on the agenda, and ensure a climate action plan is developed to make this happen. Now, my background is on software development and empowering school leaders with whole school improvement. So the content of this webinar can be found in a freely available NGA document titled NGA Environmental Sustainability, a Whole School Approach. There is a link to the guidance here, and please feel free to download this following the webinar. I think you will find it useful. So an introduction. As a society, we've become increasingly aware of environmental issues, climate change, and the need to create a more sustainable future. Young people have helped to raise awareness of these challenges. Schools have a crucial role in achieving environmental sustainability because they help young people understand the world and develop skills and attitudes to live fulfilled lives as responsible citizens. It is a core function of boards to determine the values, vision, ethos, and strategic priorities of the trust or school it governs. Governing boards are therefore in a position to consider their role in environmental sustainability and ensure that their trusts and schools take action. By changing our habits and culture, the education sector could have a significant impact on sustainability. For example, schools represent 25% of UK public sector buildings emissions. Tackling this can make a large contribution to reach net zero. Over 24,000 schools in England provide the opportunity to enhance biodiversity, help nature recover, as well as the greater opportunity to engage children and young people in the natural environment. 1 in 70 car miles are associated with the school commute. There's the potential to change behaviours to create significant long-term impact. The UN Climate Change Conference of the Parties, COP26, was held in November 2021 and saw parties come together to increase action towards the goals of the Paris Agreement and the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. It was also the first large summit where education and environment ministers met to scale up the role of education in tackling climate change. Following COP26, in April 2022, the Department for Education released its Sustainability and Climate Change Strategy for Education, envisioning the UK as the world-leading education sector in sustainability and climate change by 2030. The strategy has 4 aims: excellence in education and skills for a changing world, net zero, resilience to climate change, and a better environment for future generations. Being strategic, governing boards can take the decision to make environmental sustainability an organisational priority by identifying it as a key element of their school or trust strategy. In doing so, environmental considerations will then run throughout the organisation's decision-making and all of their work. The values that governing boards adopt and reaffirm every year guide the thinking and behaviour in the school or trust, underpinning all its activities. Governing boards should consider whether their existing values support environmental sustainability and consult stakeholders on whether the values need to be updated to ensure care for the environment is more explicitly incorporated. This would generate a commitment to develop policies and procedures that ensure the value is lived on a daily basis. Ensuring clarity of vision is the first core function for every governing board. The vision is reviewed annually and should, in a few sentences, describe what the school or trust will look like in 3 to 5 years' time, and what their pupils will leave the school knowing, thinking, and having done. Making environmental sustainability part of the vision reinforces the commitment to developing and promoting practice throughout the school or trust. The board's strategy is a high-level document which sets out how the vision will be achieved and includes a small number of priority goals. Taking the decision to make environmental sustainability one of those strategic priorities will ensure that it is embedded in the fabric of the organisation, a whole school or trust approach. It also means that the topic will become part of the annual strategy review. This discussion about strategic priorities will usually occur at the annual review of the strategy, often held with both the governing board and the executive senior leadership team in the summer term, or sometimes at the beginning of the autumn term. However, if environmental sustainability was not covered in that last conversation, rather than waiting for another year, it could be added to a full board meeting in the meantime. So the 4Cs approach to sustainability. A whole school trust approach to environmental sustainability, by definition, should encompass all aspects of school life, learning and management. NAEE explains this using the 4Cs model. The way things are done at all levels of a school trust is reflective of your vision and values. If environmental sustainability sits within this, your everyday practices and larger decisions will demonstrate caring and respect for the environment. As a starting point, you could ask your school executive leaders at the relevant governing board meeting, do we have an eco council, a team to listen to our pupils' views on environmental sustainability? Do we offer meat-free meals or have meat-free days? What happens at the school level on a day-to-day basis that encourages environmental sustainability? And do we encourage reduced energy usage and recycle, for example? To delve deeper, you could ask, do we model pro-environmental behaviours transparently in the school's operation? How does our school trust currently frame environmental sustainability? Do we foster a sense of hope through pro-environmental behaviours, or are we at risk of generating eco-anxiety? Do we understand the challenges posed by climate change and go beyond seeing recycling and turning lights off as inadequate responses? Are pupils empowered to act on climate change, both within the school and their home environment? Are initiatives or actions taken by your school or trust inclusive to all pupils in terms of cost and accessibility? Does your promotion of the physical and mental health of pupils and staff encourage being outdoors and serving nutritious seasonal food? In terms of the campus, this encompasses all aspects of school buildings and grounds. It is more likely that energy will already have been considered from an environmental point of view, but there are other aspects which require consideration and that can positively benefit your school or trust. Procurement can be an accessible route into exploring sustainability by adding it as a necessary criterion for suppliers. By 2023, the DFE will support this by having sustainability as part of the assessment and validation criteria for including suppliers on procurement frameworks. As a starting point, you could ask your school executive leaders at the relevant governing board meeting, is energy use monitored? And if not, how can we start to do this? Is there an existing policy on how the school or trust manages its campus in sustainable fashion? What investment is needed in our buildings to improve their environmental sustainability? For example, LED lighting, insulation, solar panels, ground source heat pumps. How do we use our outdoor space? Could we utilize this for improving biodiversity and growing our own food or produce? What waste is recycled or composted? To delve deeper, you could ask, are sustainable procurement choices the first option? Is our energy supplier using renewable technologies, and could we generate energy from renewable sources? Is water use monitored, and how can this be reduced? Do we seek to increase biodiversity? For example, rewilding areas of grass or creating habitats for insects and animals? Is there any financial assistance grants available that could assist us with improving our campus environmental sustainability? So then in terms of community, by the term community, we mean how the school fosters a united approach towards environmental sustainability, both with the local community and within the school community itself. As a starting point, you could ask your school executive leaders at the relevant governing board meeting, do any current governors, trustees, or staff members have any sustainability credentials that could help in this area? And is this considered when recruiting? How are children travelling to school? Is it by walking and by bike? And how is this actively facilitated by the school or trust? Does the school or trust communicate with parents about what the school is doing and why, and how they can contribute? How does the school currently work with the local community? Do any of these have sustainability focused activities? Have environmental considerations been applied to our food provision? Do you use local produce? And again, to delve deeper, you could ask, what is the air pollution in and around the school? How can we work with others to reduce this? Could the school act as a hub for any environmental projects or offer premises and support to other community schemes? Could you give pupils opportunity to investigate issues that matter to the local community? Could staff work with pupils to develop the policies and practices for managing the campus to make biodiversity gains, save energy, and create less waste? How and when do children experience their local outdoor environments? So then in terms of curriculum, the school's curriculum is an embodiment of its vision and values. Treating environmental sustainability as a core value should lead to a governing board's taking a keen interest in how this is covered in the curriculum. As climate change affects many aspects of our daily life, similarly, climate education should be taught beyond science and geography. When tendering for new teacher CPD, the DFE will also now include content on sustainability where relevant. As a starting point, you could ask your school executive leaders at the relevant governing board meeting, what and when do pupils learn about environmental sustainability? Does this go beyond science and geography, for example? Have pupils been consulted on their experience of the curriculum and teaching and learning on environmental sustainability? Do you offer the chance for children to learn outdoors, for example, through forest school, local visits, or residential trips? To delve deeper, you could ask, is working across subjects and collaboration between teachers encouraged, and how could this be facilitated? How do pupils develop knowledge and understanding of their local environment and wider global environmental issues? Do pupils develop positive attitudes and behaviours towards the environment? Does the curriculum best prepare this generation for the world in which they live, laying the foundations for green technology skills and green carers? Does our careers advice include this? Do children learn about food production and nutrition? So finally, in terms of leading change, what are the roles and responsibilities? Firstly, in terms of a climate action plan, within their strategy, the DFE states that by 2025, all education settings will have a climate action plan in place, outlining how schools will incorporate environmental sustainability within their curricular and extracurricular activity, procurement, adaptation, and decarbonisation plans. To facilitate the plan, they expect every school to nominate a sustainability lead who will receive carbon literacy training. The board. The DfE Governance Handbook states that governors and trustees should have determination to initiate and lead strategic change when this is in the best interests of the children, young people, and the organisation, and to champion the reasons for and benefits of change to all stakeholders. The governing board needs to initiate the discussion on environmental sustainability if it has not yet begun at the trust or school. And where discussion has been limited to one aspect of school life, the board should ensure the approach is extended to cover all aspects of the work of the trust or school. Boards could also appoint an eco-sustainability governor or trustee that has responsibility to liaise with school sustainability leads to ensure a joined-up approach and oversee the development of climate action plans. In terms of school leaders, it needs to be clear which leaders are tasked with progressing what. It may be that a single sustainability lead is appointed and takes input from those with greatest knowledge relating to each of the 4 Cs, or that several sustainability leads are appointed. For example, the head teacher of a school for culture, that the school business professional for campus, and a school teacher for curriculum and community. So in terms of equipping staff and in terms of capacity, through the new sustainability lead roles, school trust leaders will have increased responsibility. The board needs to ensure time is available to those who have been identified in delivering this change. They should seek assurance that the budget reflects this priority and the resulting policies and plans. And then in terms of knowledge, the governing board must be prepared to invest in time and resources to ensure staff are able to develop and deliver the climate action plan, especially as knowledge grows on environmental sustainability and practice evolves. For example, to accompany a focus on the curriculum, teachers are likely to need high quality CPD that helps them to engage with the topic and to confidently deliver the up-to-date curriculum. Now, in terms of support is available from a range of providers, such as United Nations Climate Change Learning Partnership and FutureLearn, who offer free climate education modules. Resources such as the NAEE's curriculum guides detail opportunities for schools and trusts to focus on climate change and environmental issues in a way which helps pupils develop a global perspective, foster responsible attitudes, and inspire them to take action in order to live more sustainably. There's also NGA's CPD guide, which provides advice on how boards can establish a culture where all school trust staff CPD is both valued and prioritised. And then this brings me to another helpful resource, Environmental Sustainability Audit Tool. SchoolIP, the NAEE and NGA have come together to provide schools and trusts with a free online tool to help governing boards adopt environmental sustainability as a strategic priority and for school leaders to develop a climate action plan. Based on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, the online tool is designed to cover all aspects of school life and is organised into the 4 Cs of curriculum, campus, community, and culture. It consists of a series of questions and guidance to help schools and trusts focus their efforts on pertinent actions. Go to the URL here to access the free tool. You can register there for free. So to access the SchoolIP portal and the audit, you will need to register, providing basic details about your school. Click register and you will receive an email detailing how you can access the site. Once you are registered and you gain access to the NGA Environmental Sustainability Audit and the dashboard. So what does the tool do? Well, it breaks down the audit tool into the 4 C's of curriculum, campus, community, and culture. The audit itself then is broken down into a number of sections, a series of sections related to the 4 C's. You can see them in each of the responses in each section and the current status here on the right-hand side. When accessing the audit itself, you answer a series of questions which are either not started, started, developing, and established. This will show your current status against the criteria. There is also a free text box below each response to allow you to elaborate on your current judgment. Now, the real power of this tool then is that you're also able to link each section of the audit to objectives and activities that may be on your school development plan or your climate change plan. These activities may be assigned to key staff within your school to ensure swift progress is made, and there are email reminders about the activities on the plan which are distributed to appropriate staff. You can also upload evidence alongside your audit responses which back up and reinforce your current progress. So register now for the free environmental sustainability tool using the URL on School. As I said, it is free, so please do visit this URL and register your school for the free tool. So thank you once again for your time. I hope you've enjoyed this webinar on environmental sustainability. Here are my contact details once more, and do get in touch if you have any queries regarding environmental sustainability or the SchoolIP product and how we could perhaps assist you further. Thank you.